Welcome to another edition of Against the Grain Sports Podcast, Uncut. And I am your host, Jody Coleman, in the building. We join with my man, Jarrell, Solo on Sports, Glenn, all the way from San Antonio, Texas. And it's crazy that he pulled out the Texas Longhorn shirt against the basketball school. After all, what's going on, my guy?
I love it when I pick against my team and I'm wrong. It's okay to be wrong sometimes in life, young people out there. And I'm so wrong. My Longhorns didn't suck. Pause.
Yeah, that's crazy work. So on a real outstanding victory over a good Gonzaga team, they move on to the Sweet 16. And to be honest, they got a good chance of even winning that round. So, I mean, really the sky's the limit with Texas. But what do you think about Texas right now, playing in a tough SEC? Now you're seeing how difficult their schedule is. Do you think that this is the final resting place? Are y'all happy with this season? Or what else do you think Texas needs to do?
You know how it is, man. When things start going well, you get a little bit greedy. So you're like, oh, they won the first game. I'm like, okay, that was cool. When they won the second, I'm like, now I'm looking like shit. Maybe we can go to the Elite Eight. It was interesting, Joe, that after the game, the Gonzaga coach was saying, oh, they put a moniker out there like Texas is some underdog and they don't deserve to be on the same court as us, blah, blah, blah. I said, all I know is you guys were a 3 seed and we were 11 seed. So I don't want to hear all that bullshit about Texas is Texas. I understand all of that, but we barely made the tournament and you guys were a 3 seed. So I don't want to hear all those excuses about why you lost. You still lost.
Yeah, I don't want to hear shit out of Mark Few anyway. I mean, you've been there for 30 years, had some great teams, and have never won a championship. But we got my man Michael, the People Champ, here in the building. What's going on, my guy?
It's all good. Sunday, fun day. I'm feeling a little chocolatey today, so yeah.
That's what's up. Hey, big shout out to my man Eagles Philly. Said good morning, good brothers. Keep doing your thing. Stay safe, stay blessed. Yeah, I know you happy. Texas Longhorns won, so you already getting a shout out in the comments, my man Jarrell Solo on Sports. But before we get into this college basketball, we had a great weekend. We still got some more basketball today we're going to discuss. But I want to get into something. Did y'all hear the Cam Scatterbull interview?
No, Jody. I heard some of the comments he made, but you got to enlighten me on exactly what he was saying. Some making fun of CTE or something like that, right?
Yeah. So in a nutshell, before we get into this, and the reason why I want to make this is because CTE is real. CTE has taken the lives of a lot of our NFL players. Some of our people that don't even play professional sports have suffered head injuries and have unalived themselves or whatever. And I take it extremely serious, especially when, the great Junior Seau, Dave Dorson, just to name a few players, Andre Waters, have been victims of CTE and others that probably have not been diagnosed. But Cam Scatterbull, he has after have issued an apology, but he did say that he felt like CTE was fake. It was an excuse. He said that it wasn't real. He also made fun of asthma, saying that asthma was not real. With both of my children having asthma. My kid's mom having asthma. She couldn't even have a natural childbirth because she had to have a C-section because she couldn't push because she had asthma. So to say that asthma was not real is he officially gave an apology, but who is his manager and who is the person that is his handler that is telling you quit saying stupid ass shit? Because evidently you might be suffering from CTE, my boy. Michael, the people said, man, what do you think about that, man?
I know that we have athletes that think the world is flat. We've got athletes that believe in holistic medicine. You've got athletes that believe in that there should be transgender. You got athletes that don't believe there should be transgender. You got Republican athletes, Democrat athletes. I think people just have their own thoughts and their own opinions. And I don't think that everything is critical. For everything he said, you could find somebody, medical professional, whether they're crack or not, that would support elements of what he is saying. I'm quite sure there's somebody out there that says, no, asthma is not really this, it's this. And a lot of people believe that the big pharma industry sells us a lot of bullshit and keeps us all on drugs, all on medicine. You know, there's attention deficit disorder. Do you really believe in that? Or do you think little motherfuckers need to be told to sit your black ass down and don't move? It worked for me, it worked for you. Like, I didn't have no attention deficit disorder. I had belt attention deficit disorder. I want that belt on my ass, so I sat down. So I don't, I don't run with everything. Okay, that's what he said. That's what he thinks. I probably think something differently, and then I move on. I just don't like what I call mass hysteria or fake vitriol because I don't like something that somebody says. I'm very much First Amendment, whether I agree with it or not, a la Afro Man.
And like I said, I understand what you're saying, Mike, but when you have physical evidence that this is a true statement, and if he felt that way, why you double back and apologizing? If you felt that way, stand on it. Don't stand on it. If you that's go ahead.
That's probably where I would agree with you. I'm tired of people apologizing. Stand on business of what you feel. I fucking hate do. I stand on it every day. I don't run away from it. It's like blue magic. I don't care if you call it red dog shit. Okay,
Mike, that's different. That's a little different.
I got carried away.
Yeah, you definitely did. But I see what you're saying, Mike. You're making a good point. I'm not saying that anything is wrong. I'm not even saying what he's saying is wrong. I got my opinion against what he said. But if I'm a person that says something, fucking don't apologize. Stand on what the fuck you say. Don't wait a day later and then say something about it because karma's a bitch. Soul on Sport, what do you think about? Oh, I'm sorry. We got Donald, the voice of the youth, in the building. What's up, nephew?
Yo, what's up, though?
I'll get to you in a minute about the Scatterboo, and then we'll get into college basketball. Soul on Sport, what did you think about that when you heard any of those comments?
Well, if you ever heard Scatterboo talk, you know he went to school just to play football. I don't think he went to school for any other reason but to just play football. Sometimes I think these athletes, man, they get on these podcasts and they sit on the couch. They think that they're talking and there's no one else listening. You know, you sit around with your homeboys, y'all say crazy shit and you just make comments. But you got to realize, man, that there are a lot of people listening and you have a boss. You have an organization you work for called the NFL. And like Jody's mentioned, there are former NFL players that blown their heads off and done crazy, taking their lives because of this thing called CTE. For you to make those comments is very insensitive. And I'm pretty sure he got checked afterwards. That's why he said sorry, Jody, because he does have someone he has to answer to. You cannot just go out and say and do whatever you want when you work for the biggest mafia in the world. That's called the NFL. So yeah, you can't just go around saying whatever the hell you want and think ain't gonna be no repercussions from that.
Absolutely. So, and you already know that the shield is going to protect the shield.
Oh yeah.
The shield, they don't give a shit about individuals. They will protect the shield at all costs. And one thing you're not going to do is be a second-year player that came off an injury and think that you're going to dictate what's going to be said in the NFL. Donald, we're talking about what Cam Scatterboo, his interview he had where he made fun and said that CTE was an excuse. It wasn't real. And he also talked about people that were asthmatic, saying that that's not real. And he has later came to apologize, which I'll give him credit for, man. That's a stand-up thing to do. But if you meant what you said, stand on business. Donald, what do you think?
I just don't agree with the It's the thing I've been saying about the media. You have to be fake in the media because once you say what you really feel, they make you apologize for it. But at the same time, they say they want real answers. Now, if I agree or not, that's different. But at the same time, I believe if that's how you really feel, say it. I know it's a lot of stuff I say that people don't agree with at all, which is cool. I don't want everybody to agree with me. If all of us agree with each other, then we got a fucked up situation. You should have your own mind to be able to think your own thoughts. Now, people going to agree with him or not. So with him apologizing, I hate the apology stuff because now it's just all faking. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel.
And that's my whole. That's all I gotta say is if you said it, mean it. Because I know I say a lot of controversial things, and I'm gonna stand on business. But guess what? When you say something wrong, or anybody say something wrong, I'm gonna speak my opinion, whether you like what I just said or not. Some people might not like what I said in return. You know, they might be like, "Well, Joe, no, I'm standing on that. Ain't nothing y'all can tell me about that." When I know for a fact that it's players that we know for a fact that suffer from CT. I know people that ain't got nothing to do with sports suffer from asthma. Like, come on, man. Inhalers are for a reason, and I understand what Mike's saying. Is ADHD real? I believe it is. My son has ADHD, so I'm like, these are things that I do believe that are real because I've lived it. But if some people have never lived it, you never know if it's real or not. But man, I get what you're saying. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, Jody, it's like this. Remember when everybody was trying to get everybody to take the COVID vaccination, and that was a big deal. Like, I did not take it until I was at a point where I was switching jobs, and the only way that I could switch to that job, there was no choice but to take it. But then 6 months later, another dude refused to take it and still got the job because you couldn't discriminate against somebody who, but that hadn't been determined when I came around. And I held out because I did not want to take that shot. I don't take the flu shot. I don't take and believe in all of these things that they sell us on. And I think we should have some dissenting voices so that we can make our own decisions. I don't think we all have to agree. And I don't think that me saying something that I feel is an attack on anybody else or anybody else that feels differently. And that's the fine line that I'm always concerned about when a player, politician, actor, entertainer, or just everyday humans say something that others don't maybe roundly agree with. That does not then make them a bad person, or they should be canceled, or that they're attacking this or that. I mean, we've got words you can't even say anymore. You can't, you would get persecuted for saying the word retarded, right? But it could be taken as a literal thing. It could be taken as a joking thing. And it was a term used to describe, it was a clinical term. You see what I'm saying?
Bernie Mac would have never made it.
There are things you just, I see what you guys are coming from, but there's just certain things in this day and age we can't do and say anymore. I'm with you. How things used to be, but those things aren't like that anymore. Some things we just have to change with the day and time. It is what it is at this point.
Bernie Mac would have never made it.
Right, Donald. And my thing is like I said, we're gonna go into the actual March Madness. Is just if you're gonna say something, and this is the bottom line I'm gonna get to. If you're gonna say something, stand on business, man. Like I said something about LeBron James should have been traded years ago, and I remember on TikTok, and I think Soul probably remember this. Remember, I said LeBron should have been traded because I said if you notice, LeBron has never been traded in his career. He always goes to a situation as a free agent because he knows if he gets traded, he's going to leave the same team and go to the same team he's coming from. If he gets traded, he needs all the resources to stay at that particular team. And I remember people were saying, you don't know ball, you don't know this, you don't know that. And I said, that's cool. I still think he needs to be traded because if not, the Lakers are going to be destitute when he eventually goes elsewhere. Now, they end up keeping him, of course, and they was able to work a deal to get Luka Doncic. But I told him I still stood on business. It was crazy. 3 months later, Stephen A. Smith had breaking news that LeBron James was gonna get traded, and they act like they had never heard it before, and they up here applauding this. I said this shit 3 months ago, and I also sent what I said on TikTok and put it in his inbox. Of course, didn't get any answer, but it wasn't on him. But when I say so, I'm standing on business, and Mike knows because Mike called me the most loyal fan because I'm gonna stand on business. I'm gonna stand on it. But let's get to this March Madness, man. Donald, Duke. I'm gonna start with Duke. Duke had a they just seemed to get some separation in the second half. They were losing 40-38, and then they went on a monster run and went 81-58. What did you feel about this Duke victory? And can they really make a run?
Man, I don't personally believe so, but it's about surviving in advance, and we did survive, and maybe we got another week now to try to get healthier. But I just don't see Duke making a run. But as far as the win yesterday, it's still a game we supposed to win against TCU. But it gets tougher and tougher going forward.
Okay. Michael, the people say, I know you have a difference of opinion. You did pick TCU in this game, I will add. But Duke they actually end up pulling away from TCU late after TCU was giving them all they can handle in the first half. What do you think? Do you think that Duke can make a run, or the bus going to stop in the Sweet 16 for the Duke Blue Devils?
There was a song by Lisa and Cult Jam. It's ringing in my head right now. I wonder if I take you home, because that's what's happening.
Love, baby. Yeah.
You should be in love, baby, because you're going home, 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 home.
Hey.
That was the remix. I ain't heard that. That must have been the remix. I ain't heard that version.
I skipped a couple of verses, but I feel like my man is coming to America. Come on, I've been waiting on your janky ass all night.
Hey, Macaulay Culkin.
Going home. I had to pick to get to the Sweet 16, and my St. John's Red Storm, Red Hawks, Red Man, well, I don't know what they call him, Red Man himself will be showing up the next game, and they are coming to this beautiful sweet reserve just for Don.
Macaulay Culkin, you're home alone, so you just sit where you at.
But Jody's there, Ray's there.
Yeah,
I'm not there yet, brother.
But hold on, the thing about it, Ray never even got in the house. That nigga was on the porch. My team, at least I'm in the basement. Ohio State in the basement.
How you hate from outside the club? You can't even get in.
Yo. Hey, so what did you think about Duke beating a Texas team? Ain't there something to beat a Texas team? But anyway,
yeah.
Duke
still got 2 or 3 left, brother.
Hey, you only got one brother left. Hey, what do you think? You think Duke can actually make a run, man?
Well, like Donald said, it's about winning. It doesn't matter how ugly it is, how pretty it is. Just win the basketball game, and they won another one yesterday. Who are they playing next, Donald?
The winner of St. John's in Kansas.
Yeah.
Both of those teams are beatable. We all know Kansas is a star. He only plays half games, so you can't depend on him if they win. In St. John's, they have an outstanding defense, but sometimes their offense disappears. So you just never know, man. I mean, matchups are crazy sometimes, so maybe Duke can win and get to the Elite Eight. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Let me intervene real quick. I know this my bad. I know it was rude, but it's just about like this narrative thing, right? If he's checking out of games, he check out of 2 or 3 games. That's just the whole story of the world, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you play 35 minutes a game, the last 5 or 6 games, you just shut up. It's like you can do all the bad, but you can't say
that's right.
Good.
Hey, Donald, you suck
that's
one
crazy.
dick, you're a dick sucker. That's how it goes, brother.
No, that's a hold down. You know, that's like suicide.
Hey,
that's worse than that.
Mike, am I right?
Once you slob one knob,
nah,
you can't go back.
That's
you are known.
No, that's a whole nother ball game. But
dome, then you're a dome polisher.
But yeah, I just don't like that. And they put that stigma on certain people, and they never. It's like you can never rebound from, depending on who you are, because certain people can recover.
Well,
because
it looks like he's not hurting it. You proclaimed that it wouldn't hurt his draft stock the whole time, and it still doesn't look like it's going to significantly impact it one way or the other.
I'm just saying how everybody was saying he checks out a game, but nobody come back and be like, well, he's been playing, good job. No, it's just all bad. It's just this media thing. It's all bad. It's all bad and no good. I just don't like that out of people.
It just happened, though, Donald. So time has to heal all these wounds. He has to keep playing, and prove that he can stay in the games a little bit longer than what he's done. This shit just happened weeks ago.
He's played a longer time in more games than he's checked out of.
Yeah, it's all coming to an end this week. So today,
that's cool. That's cool too. But I just never prime example, the man of the media. when Michael Jordan won the championship, he wasn't just a first round loser guy anymore.
Okay,
It
Donald.
switches.
Question, Donald.
That's all I'm saying.
Donald, let's say you're the Washington Wizards GM, and you got the number 1 pick in the draft. You gonna tell me that's not something you would question as a draft when you decide who you're gonna pick in the draft?
Nigga, the Wizards can't question shit.
Nah.
Not saying I'm at Donald Piece GM. What would you think? That wouldn't come to mind?
No, because I know it's more than his like a condition or what. I understand the business of it. It's more business of it than that. I understand that point. In the NBA, he's going to play because he understands you got to play to get.
Why would he play in the NBA? Because you definitely get paid in the NBA if you don't play. It doesn't matter.
Because you got to play a certain amount of time to get the supermax. He's going to do the bare minimum to get to the most amount of money.
So you okay with people doing the bare minimum?
That's how life pretty works. That's how America works.
As a GM, you be okay with people doing the bare minimum.
If I got a player that performs well enough to do the supermax, that's all I can ask out of you.
Oh,
because you have to make an all NBA team to get a supermax. If I got an all NBA player, I can't really ask for much more.
That's a whole different discussion. But the thing about it is, so you said the Washington Wizards them niggas to take me right now. Like, don't them niggas to take a 47-year-old me right now and better shut the fuck up and I'll play half the game because both my ankles are busted. But as far as Duke, I do believe Duke can make a run. I think Duke can beat Kansas or St. John's. I just think that Cam Boozer is that good. And at some point, we got to give Cam Boozer his flowers on how good of a career he's had up to this point. There's no college player got to their freshman year that has been this decorated. I don't think this guy has won in high school. This guy had and I'm talking about up to this point because we know Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, what his career accolades was. He's up there with a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with his career accolades up to this point. If he wins a championship, he's definitely will be up there with the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So I believe he couldn't play his freshman year, right, Mike?
Correct.
So he played. So he won it, but he won a championship 3 other years when he could play. Correct. Okay.
Correct.
So that's the only person that probably has a more decorated career up to this point is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But
why would you ask me about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? I wasn't living when he was.
I could have asked anybody. I mean, this ageism has to stop, man. I just asked you
and ask me. I get it. I see where we at.
But hey, how you doing, Miss Glenn? Good morning. She said good morning to the Against the Grain Sports crew. Ramon Alvarez said join me basketball. But going over a few more games before we get to today's games, I will be reluctant to not go to the Texas Longhorns pulling a major upset over the Gonzaga Bulldogs. The Texas Longhorns are the last double-digit seed left in this tournament. Mike, like I told you, there's no more Cinderellas with the NIL money, and you're seeing it. This is back-to-back seasons. There's no true Cinderella. Talk to me about this win against the Gonzaga Bulldogs with the Texas Longhorns, who you didn't even think was even going to make it to the tournament.
I could go countless.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Happy about the victory. I'm glad I was wrong about picking against my team. Gonzaga's been overrated since they've been in college basketball. So for us to beat Gonzaga, I mean, I'm happy about it, but I still don't think Gonzaga's that good of a basketball program. I mean, they played in a subpar conference, so beating Gonzaga is nice. But I'm looking for the big dogs. That's what I want to beat next. But I'm happy about it. I'm glad they got that win. Now they're on to the Sweet 16, R. Kelly's favorite round.
Yo, when you say team, how old are we talking?
We talk under 18. So yes.
Why did he say that?
Because he wanted to go to jail. He wanted to go to jail.
Bruh, all R. Kelly had to say is, no, I don't like women. Next question. This nigga said, so when you talk about teens, how old? That nigga was serious. He was really thinking like, are we talking 17? He said, what state are we in? Because you know these different states got different rules. You know, if I'm in Arkansas, I can talk to a girl that's 16 because you know it's different in certain states. Like, nigga, just stop talking, please. Yo, so when he tried to analyze it, I said that nigga going to. When I seen that, I said, you going to jail, nigga. You going to jail. Hey, Mike, he was like, you know you fucked up, right?
But I will say this. That is not what that man went to jail for.
It didn't help. It didn't help, Mike.
I would love to sit and talk to y'all about that particular case.
That's another
that ain't nothing to talk about.
But yeah, Donald, Texas, you have always been a big component that you didn't believe in Gonzaga basketball. You said that probably since you was a kid, since you could see TV. And then Donald was for like Gonzaga trash. No,
if they play anybody of a certain skin tone, they're going to lose. Any athletes, it's just what happened. Just like I called it yesterday and said it, Texas is going to beat them. It's just not it. This is not a time where you can win in basketball with certain things going on your roster. It has to have a certain complexion of makeup.
Hey, we've been saying I picked Texas as well. Michael, the people champ, man. When Texas beat Gonzaga, I know you was like, fuck. How did you feel?
Well, actually, I embraced it because it just reinforces the fact that we're talking about a basketball school, and then in a few weeks we can just refer to them as such because that's where they seem to excel at this point, with that school. So
such a hater.
I was totally okay with that. So Gonzaga, we all know that it don't even matter how many brothers they go get because this narrative, they only had one white guy out there the whole time. It was pretty much mostly brothers just getting misused and abused by Texas. They got the Slovenian or whatever the guy is in the middle. He's putting up points, and they got the albino out there, and he's doing his thing. So
he's been there like 10 years too.
So that brand that Texas has, they encompass everybody. They got everybody out there playing. They're a melting pot team, and they broke the dreams of Gonzaga. This is annual. I mean, none of us are really wrong about it because even when Gonzaga gets them brothers, they get them brothers from Inglewood or from. And so this is a local thing. They're gonna that go to Northmont, Carroll, Chaminade, Alger. They get them guys. They don't go over.
They cream.
Yeah, they not coming. They not coming to the hood to they're not going over in 5.
So you saying that they recruit Carlton Banks type players is what you're saying?
Yo,
there you go.
100%.
Hey, that's crazy work.
Oh, okay. I'm with you.
Listen, guys. When I look at Gonzaga, remember when you was kids and you used to have those BB guns?
Yeah.
It looked like a real gun. You could almost rob somebody. That's Gonzaga. Y'all fucking BB gun. Y'all look real, but y'all never going to accomplish anything real. Y'all never going to really be able to rob a bank with Gonzaga program because they're a fucking BB gun. They look real. They feel real, but you're not real. And Gonzaga is a fucking joke. And I can't wait until they get into the conference because they should have went to the Big 12 when they had the opportunity a couple years ago when Arizona went to the Big 12 and Arizona State. They had an opportunity to go to the Big 12 where you could have played against Kansas. You could have played against Iowa State, and we would have got you. You would have got more respect by going 20-10 rather than you going 30-31-2 in that fucking weak ass conference out there. But you decided to stay out there. Now y'all want to go to the Pac-12 next year. Y'all going? I don't know how many teams they calling it still the Pac-12, but they're supposed to go to that conference. And they're still going with a bunch of teams that's not on their level. They're going with UNLV. No disrespect, Rick. But they're going with UNLV. I think Boise State is going over there. They don't even have a football team, so they're not even going to compete in football. So my thing is Gonzaga, y'all dropped the ball. Y'all should have petitioned to get in the Big 12, and maybe y'all wouldn't be in this position because y'all would still get better players if y'all was in the Big 12. And you can't say y'all not getting McDonald All-Americans. Y'all had Chet up there.
They had Chet. Jalen Suggs and Chet at the same time.
And they had Dan Dickow.
And
they had Adam Morrison. They done had some studs up there, so they can't say they have not had the talent. And you're in the state of Washington. You are losing players like Mikael Folks is right there in your backyard. Jamal Crawford was right there in your backyard. Murray was right there in your backyard, and all those guys went to different schools. So listen, the best player y'all ever had was John Stockton. Big shout out to John Stockton. But Gonzaga is a BB gun. And shout out to Texas for putting everything together, man. Go ahead, so.
Jody, is just like here in San Antonio, they have some local talent here, and they go on to the state championship. They'll say local team, oh, we're gonna go play Dallas Carlin. We got an undefeated record. Yeah, but there's levels to this shit. You go play Dallas or you play Austin Westlake, you local, you good here. When you go step up to play those schools, you're like, oh damn, I thought we were ready, but no, we're not. Y'all local.
Let's say, and Mark Few is a definition of stay where you're celebrated, not go to where tolerated. Because he is the king. Because he is the king and can do no wrong there. So they're gonna pay him whatever amount of money. He never got to worry about his job or anything. But a lot of people would have went to one of those bigger schools. I know they was calling when they first, and he stayed, and therefore he got the ultimate job security. And they're gonna pay him swell, and he can just walk off how he want to walk off. Because he could have went somewhere else, got fired, and then it'd be a whole different story.
And be on TV. Hey, but so remember on Juice when Q was going to the DJ thing, and Queen Latifah said, "Oh, you local? Oh, you local?" Go ahead, Mike.
Well, I also liken this to. I'm not gonna like haze these guys that bad because I mean UNLV did not play in the Pac-10. They didn't play, or the Pac-12. They didn't play in the Big Ten, SEC, ACC, nothing. And they had an era where they ran college basketball while Tark was there. And so it's been done before. The blueprint is very simple. It's just getting the right mix of people and having the right opportunity. When they lost to North Carolina in 2017, the last time a Duke or Carolina team has won a national championship. No one. He had a great team. He had the one big man that played there forever. He had the one guy that came in with freshman year and he went to the NBA. And then they had all those other guys, and they didn't take advantage of that opportunity. But what Mark Few is banking on is that he will amass that group again. He will get in the right bracket. And then he'll get there. There's
Mike,
no pressure on him.
I can't let you continue to blow yet. This nigga been there for 30 years. He's been there for fucking 30 years, right? Or close to it. And you ain't did shit in 30 years. Now I'm very disappointed in you. You the person that can't wait to fire a motherfucker that can't get the job done. But now all of a sudden you cool with Mark Few being there for 30 years, talking about UNLV did it. And the reason why they did it is because they had a lot of money behind them. But go ahead.
So I am critical when there is expectation. At Ohio State, you cannot continuously lose to Michigan. You're ready to fire a coach who had an 80, 90% win percentage, except for he couldn't beat Michigan. You're ready to fire that man. And I contended that everyone else in the country would love to have a coach with that winning percentage. I don't have that much expectation of Gonzaga to where they should be winning national. He's not squandering talent and not winning national championships. Hold on. Calipari has squandered more talent than anybody and not won national championships.
He got
John
one.
Shire is in the process of doing identity.
He just got there.
I said he's in the process. I didn't say he had done it, but every year they've got the #1 recruited class in basketball, and at some point you either gonna bust this nut or you're not. Because at this point, am I right, Donald? He's been there, 5 years now? 6?
Four, nah, because I don't think Caleb ain't been gone that long.
No. He's been there 4 years now as head coach.
Probably the 4th year, yeah.
And I think they've had the #1 recruiting class 2 or 3 of those 4 years.
Right.
And they have not won a national championship, which means that one would say that there's a squandering of talent. And that's what I don't see with Mark Few.
But Mark Few he had one of the top recruiting class when he had what's his name, Suggs, and he had Chet
was they had #1 player in the country.
They had both of them. Both of them were top 10 players in the country. And you played in the fucking. So what is their conference anyway? What is their conference? So
air conditioning conference. I don't know what conference they're in.
That's the outside conference.
Well,
So
they're not winning that conference though, Joey. That's what I'm saying.
they're winning the conference, but
It's
they
not
didn't
impressive.
win it. Like Donald said, when they play an athletic team, I'll put it that way. Donald can say it a different way. But when they play a team that got the same type of athletes, maybe of a different color, they don't win. UCLA beat them.
Baylor beat the
than
pants.
UCLA.
Baylor beat the pants off of them.
Yeah, Baylor beat them, but they were really better than that UCLA team. And even though that UCLA team had Russell Westbrook and they had Kevin Love, they were more talented with Adam Morrison, and they lost that game. They let Mute, was it
Booyah Mute, whatever.
He the one that beat them in that game.
But listen to what you just said. You just said that 2 NBA All-Stars played against an NBA bus, but they have more talent. That's not true.
Because the college game and the NBA game are 2 different games.
Yes, Don, that's what I'm saying. It's a different game. And if you go look at Russell Westbrook, he was not that good in college. People, he didn't put up those numbers in college. Kevin Love didn't put up them numbers in college.
Because they draft off of the draft won't tell you the story, because guys get drafted off of potential, not what they are at the time.
Okay, did he reach his potential?
Yes.
Russell Westbrook?
Yes.
Because what I'm trying to say is like,
but Adam Morrison was better than them in college.
Michael Jordan averaging 12 points a game wasn't his full potential his freshman year, though he hit the biggest shot maybe in North Carolina history.
He played with James Worthy and Sam Perkins.
They don't want to say that, and they never went back. So,
but anyway,
but they don't talk about that part. But go ahead.
That's a good conversation though, Mike Donald. So, but my man King Minks in the building, all the way from Memphis, Tennessee. What's going on, my boy? Some other games that was played. Michigan handled business, beat St. Louis 95-72. Michigan State keep they gritty, like Mike always say, they bumping and grinding. They brought their R. Kelly CD with them, and they won 77-69. They keep rolling. Your Houston, your Houston Cougars beat up on Texas A&M 88-57. Illinois represented the Big Ten in a major way, knocking off a team that UNC couldn't. They knocked off VCU 76-55. Arkansas beat High Point. That was the last true Cinderella that we had. Darius Acutt went for 36-6 in that game. And then Nebraska with a game-winning shot at the end. They won 74-72, but it was a shot by Tyler Tanner that it went in and came back out. I really thought he was going to hit that shit. And I was like, that's going to be crazy work. But going back to the Arkansas game in High Point, guys, I got a question for you. I'm going to ask this question right here. I'm going to go to you, Michael, the People Center. With the way that Darius Acutt Jr. has been playing, can he really, really, truly be the number 1 pick of this draft, Mike?
No, but he's playing great, and he's going to be a top 6 pick in the draft, or pretty much however you really want to do it. I think he's going to be in the top 6 somewhere. I don't see him sliding below that. The tournament is a time to shine. He is shining. He had to be the All-American that he was last night, or the top draft pick or whatever last night, because that young man from High Point did not back down and did not run or retreat. And I would have loved to see that game get tied up and go into overtime, because it was the best game I saw yesterday. I won't say of the whole tournament thus far, but that game was phenomenal.
That Vandy Nebraska game was really good too, Mike.
It was good because I had it on both.
Hey, hold on. I got this question for Mike. You didn't see that point guard Rob Martin's mom, nigga? Did you see his mama?
Not where she at.
They kept showing her. I was like,
I was watching 2 screens.
I was watching his mama. I was hoping just so I could see his mom. I was like, oh, Mama Martin.
You gonna be on
Mama Martin.
You're gonna be on there with my TikTok guy and be doing a smash.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah, I think I probably
smash.
No, I'm dead serious. I was looking like that. Oh, nice. So on sports. This is a realistic question. Do you think the way that Darius Acutt, the way that he seems to play just like Derrick Rose with his demeanor, he seems to always play in clutch. He can hit free throws. He can get to the basket when he wants to. He gets other players involved. Everything you would want out of a number 1 pick. And I know we got Cam Boozer, we know we got Darius Peterson, and we know we got AJ DeBanza, all those guys, Keiston Fleming. But do you think it's a realistic chance when the draft come up in June that Darius A-Cup name could be called first?
Most definitely. Through the first two games of the tournament, he scored 60 points in 2 games. Very fucking impressive. If he can carry this team to a Final Four situation and possibly a championship, yeah, I can definitely see him being the first pick in the draft, man. I can see it definitely. He's got the talent. Talent is there.
Hey, Eagles Philly said he saw his mom too. See, we think it's just like Donald. What do you think? Me and you were talking yesterday at the state championship, or the state semifinal game. Unfortunately, my nephew did lose. They lost on, and that was some garbage. They lost on the last second shot, 44-42. And I don't even want to talk about that. The referees, I don't want to get on referees, and that's a whole different thing. But I don't know if you can extend your arm where you can see that brother's elbow and still get this and still not get called for the offensive foul. I think I'll score 40 points in today's game, but that's a whole different story. Donald, do you think that it's a realistic opportunity for Darius A-Cup, the way that he's performing down the stretch in SEC tournament and big games, and if he can keep this going, do you think that his name could be called before Darian Peterson, Caleb Williams, Cam Boozer to say?
No, not at all. I think the first 3 slots, which I don't agree, but I think that I don't think Boozer should be top 3, but I do think he's going to be top 3. I believe Caleb Wilson should be in front of him, but I think the top 3 slots will be DeBanster, Peterson, and Boozer at this point, regardless. Which I don't agree, but A-Cup is probably deserving, and he is that good to be the number 1 pick. But I just think it's already set in stone who will be there and who's going to be taken.
I really think the way that he's playing, if he can somehow, I say at least get to the Elite 8, win one more game, and play at this level, I think people gonna really have to think. Now, you got AJ, who had an outstanding game against Texas, but it was no thing around it. And AJ is a talent. You know, AJ is a guy that can shoot the 3. Look like he's pretty good defensively. He handles the ball. He could be next year's Cooper Flag in the NBA, where they'll try to make him a point guard and try to put the ball in his hands. So is he deserving the number 1 pick? I think he could be the number 1 pick. And Darius Peterson is different. This guy scores at will. I would love to see him play on a 36-minute type of scale and see how many points he can score. Cam Boozer, I think me and Donald talked about that. If he goes to like the Indiana Pacers, I think he'll have a very successful career. If he goes to a team where all he has to do is do what he's doing in college and not have to create, I think he could be a 20-10 guy. But I just think that there's A-Cup, and no disrespect to Kingston Flemings. I think he's a little bit better than Kingston Flemings. I said that before.
Yeah.
But not saying Kingston Flemings ain't him. I just think Darius A-Cup is a little bit more polished and stronger at this point. Now, maybe when they get in the NBA, it could be the Darren Williams, Chris Paul type of thing. Remember, 1 minute we thought Chris Paul was the best point guard, and we thought Darren Williams was the best point guard, then they switched. But both of them had outstanding runs. I think they could do the same thing in this draft. But I would not be surprised, depending on what team has the number 1 pick, and if they need a point guard, I would not be surprised, Donald, to see A-Cup's name being called first. And I know that's kind of pushing it because everybody is tanking to get AJ, but I don't even think teams need to tank. If you get a pick from 1 to 7, I think you're going to be very satisfied with your pick. What do you think about that, Mike?
I think that I was very impressed with A-Cup's ability to just continuously blow by people. After it became apparent that this man is trying to get to the rack.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was impressive. And they had a small guard on him. They put a bigger body on him. They put everybody they had, as opposed to what I would have done down the church. I'd have double teamed him and said, anybody but him is beating me. But that's just the way my mind works. But as far as these guys, I am with Donald on this. Of the top 7 guys, Cam Boozer is the least impressive guy because he is the worst athlete of all of them. And being on the floor, grabbing rebounds is not going to happen in the NBA. That's not going to happen. You can't rebound from the floor. His elevation at the rim is horrendous. And when you're playing up against these athletes that are in the NBA, I don't know whose game in the NBA right now that you would be like, okay, he can be as good as this guy in the low post interior game.
But Mike, you say that he can't get rebounds from the low post. Dennis Rodman was not the most athletic guy. Dennis Rodman couldn't jump the
Hey
highest.
man, let me tell you something. Dennis Rodman compared to Cam Boozer as an athlete is miles differently.
I understand what you're saying, but what the difference is with Cam is he can score. Now, if Rodman wanted to score, I think he could, but he didn't.
Because Rodman was, people don't realize Rodman did average double figures for the Pistons like in his first 3 years of the NBA. And then he just became this rebounding freak. But Cam Boozer is expected to be like, his game is very much like his father's game.
Yeah, it is.
It's not bad.
Except for that the NBA no longer has those kind of guys. There's nobody playing in the NBA right now that I see him like, oh, you know what? He could be that guy. But I do for these other guys, there's somebody in the league that I could plug and play in my head that they got similar traits.
We got people countering. Jason the Hefty Lefty, he said, first he said that, you know, my nephew's team, they're still in mourning. They played a hell of a game. Donald, Jay Kane himself said nobody should want to go to Indiana. They always get hurt. But Jason said to you, Mike, he said, I offer a counter. The Joker can't jump over a fucking piece of paper. He leads the lead in rebounds.
Okay.
He's 7'1" with long arms.
He's 6'10".
Joker 7'1" with long arms.
Yeah, Joker 6'10".
Shit, Joker actually tall as hell. He's way if he's 6'10", Boozer's 6'4.5".
Elijah wasn't 7 foot either, right? Y'all know
Elijah was 6'10", but look at the athlete. Cam Boozer's not going to lead the league in blocks. Cam Boozer's not nimble of foot. Like, I'm just going off of like what my eyes tell me. I remember Elton Brand dominated the college basketball game.
Why you keep bringing up Duke players, man?
That's not what I'm doing at the moment. I'm really doing like, you know, what I'm saying is like, I've seen this before. And when it gets to the NBA, it doesn't translate as well as all of these other guys. There's somebody playing right now that you can say, oh, he reminds me of him. He reminds me of him. He reminds me of him.
I get that.
I don't see nobody in the NBA that I can go to right now, size and dimensions that Cam Boozer is, pause, and say, he can get that off the 20 and 10 again. I don't see that.
I see Boris Diaw. I see Boris Diaw.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. J. Kane himself said nobody. He said NBA players don't hunt rebounds. They're only out a few guys who actually seek rebounds. He said if a player has an aggressive mindset, rebounding in the NBA, they will be successful. Jason the Heavy Left said Cam Boozer is pretty similar to his dad. So on sports, going back, they were talking about Cam Boozer. But what do you think about like with the top 7 teams or top 7 players, maybe even 10? To be honest, so there's about 14 players. We don't mention LeBaron Philon Jr. out of Alabama. He could be a guy that can come in and play right away. There's a lot of guys in this draft that I don't know why all these teams are trying to tank. Do you think that if your team, the Dallas Mavericks are in the lottery, you'll be satisfied if y'all got like a top 7 pick, right?
Oh, most definitely. But one thing we do have to talk about, the NBA draft, the NFL draft is completely different. NFL is easy. If you have a worse record, you get the top pick. In the NBA, there's a chance that the Oklahoma City Thunder can get the first pick in the draft because they have the Clippers first round pick this year. And if they get the first pick in the draft, then what happens? Are they going to trade some of their really good young players to draft one of these kids? That could change everything. So knowing how we're going to steer and say who's going to be drafted first or second, third, we don't know because we have no idea who's going to get that first pick. It's crazy right now.
If Oklahoma City get the first pick and they put Darren Peterson at the 2 guard next to nigga, that ain't fair. See, that ain't fair. Go ahead, Dom.
Yeah, I think I agree with Saul. You can't really. It's hard to make a decision on who you think going first until you see what team needs what and what team actually gets the pick. Like I think a team like the Pacers. I think the Pacers would draft like a Cam Boozer. I think he fits what they're trying to do. I think he fits and he can play with them. And I don't think the Pacers need a franchise changing guy. I think they just need to get healthy and they right back where they was, and then Cam Boozer can help at that point. But somebody like you need somebody like need a franchise changer like the Wizards or the Hornets or somebody like that. Yeah, you got to go with one of them guys who you feel like can change a franchise, whether it's the Vance or Peterson or whoever you think can change the franchise.
But if you're the Pacers, wouldn't you? You got Caleb Wilson, you got Peterson, you got DeBanza. I would take all of those guys. A-Cup. I take every last one of those guys before I took Boozer, no matter what was, you know what I'm saying?
But
Unless
if
he
you the
was the
Pacers,
best player left.
but if you're the Pacers, Mike, you already have a point guard. You know your leader. That's your leader. Once he get healthy, he's your leader. You got a small forward, but you don't really have a power forward that can, because they don't know if they're gonna go Obi Toppin. They don't know. They normally switch up. Cam Boozer, I think we got to start giving Cam Boozer a little bit more credit than what we're giving. I think this kind of. I think it's.
Is Cam Boozer better than Obi Toppin was coming out of Dayton?
I think Obi Toppin, it was more athletic than Cam Boozer by far. But just because you're more athletic than a player don't make you better. I mean, we see that. You just said it yesterday with Luka Doncic. You just made the same thing and the same argument about Luka Doncic not being more athletic, but he controls the tempo of a game. And I think that we really have to stop disrespecting Cam Boozer's game. This guy can really play. Real quick before I finish my take, Jason the Hefty Lefty said, I wouldn't want to end up with the Kings. No, Jason, you know what I said. I think the Kings shouldn't even be a fucking team. Y'all know how many times I said this. How many times have I said this?
Oh, a lot.
My thing about Cam Boozer is, first of all, he looks like a Pacer.
Yeah.
That's he looks like a Pacer. He fits their whole mold and franchise and all that. So then another thing about him is being athletic, not like, okay, you got Luka Doncic, the Joker, Larry Bird, guys who not that athletic who can dominate, but these are stars and guys with the ball in their hands, so they're setting the pace of the game. When you're going to be off the ball and a finisher, you need to be more so athletic. There's not many guys who are that good playing that 3-4, and you're just going to be a flat out finisher, and therefore you have to be athletic at that point. Like a guy like Aaron Gordon's and guys like that who at that position right now, they got to be real athletic because of what you got to do and play in a dunker spot and where you got to play because you don't have the ball in your hands.
But Donald, if you look at the NBA now, other than Wemby, who can Boozer score over in the paint? I mean, nobody can score over Wemby. Other than that, I mean, he'll get his game off in the pros. I think he'd be just fine.
But so this, like a big shout out to Ray, more just a Barbara Lindsay in the comments. Direct, all our guys, Jason Hefty Lefty in the comments. Everybody in there in the damn comments today. So big shout out to my guys in the comments. But do you think we're underappreciating Cam Boozer? Like, this dude about to be the National Player of the Year. We've seen his success up to this point. I think we're limiting his game because maybe he's doing what the coach is telling him to do. Have we thought about that?
I think what it has to do with, normally in the draft, there's a clear-cut number one player that's coming out in the draft, or possibly we could have a Michael Olowokandi draft when we don't know who the fuck we're going to take number one. Or Anthony Bennett. Oh my God, who we're going to take here? So no disrespect to those guys. They did make the NBA and I never made it. Anyway, but this year is completely different. We're not used to seeing this many high-level talent to get this drafted high. So he can kind of hide, but if these guys weren't coming out this year, maybe he'll get more love and respect because he would be the clear-cut number one.
And it's cool. I love it. I love it that we're not going to know. I hate when any sport, even baseball, I hate when any sport we know who the clear-cut number one is because it takes the drama out of the draft.
Unless my team is drafting, then I care.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But like we look at football, we know that Mendoza is going to be the number one pick. You might as well go ahead and sign this deal right now today. I don't know what we're waiting for. Just when it should be 3 seconds into the draft, and he's holding his Vegas Raider jersey up, and we can go on to the second pick.
And they're gonna use the whole clock.
Yeah, like this is why we using the whole 15 minutes just so y'all can have interviews that y'all done had all off season. But in the NBA, I like the fact in the NBA that this time we're going to really be like NBA draft. We're on Against the Grain Sports. We're going to be really, really locked in on that because it's going to be like, shit, we don't know who really going to go. Like Donald said, we don't know who's going to get the first pick. So you can't be the Charlotte Hornets and pick a Darius A-Cup number one because you got LaMelo Ball. So why would you go get another point guard? And then you have to go get maybe Darren Peterson that'll fit their scheme a little bit better. So it's going to be very interesting.
I think the Hornets need to go. They got to go with like a Caleb Wilson or something because they pretty much set at LaMelo Ball, Knipple, and Brandon Miller. They got something going already. So that's what it really depends on who needs what.
And I'm gonna say this, Jody. I just want you to be clear. I've watched a few games. I won't say a bunch of, but I mean I've seen Duke play enough to make an assessment, right? Cam Boozer can face up to the bucket. He's got a great three-point shot for a guy his size. Great touch, and I think he's shooting at about 40-some-odd%. But I've watched this tournament. I've watched things, some things happen, and I'm like, I don't see this translating to a franchise player. I think the Pacers would be a good fit if they pick him at 10 or somewhere there, because he's going to be the best available player at some point in the first 10 picks. I think if you do that, then you're setting the guy up for success. If you're taking him 1, 2, or 3 as a franchise player, the best thing that he could have happen is for the Thunder to get the first pick, and maybe they draft him number 1 because they just got riches of talent because of the draft and everything that's played out for them.
I just think that I think we might be low-key disrespecting Cam Boozer.
Shout out to Paul George, messed the NBA up, man.
Hey, J.K. and the Chef said, is he better than Melvin Bagley the third coming out?
No, not to
Melvin
me.
Melvin Bagley was really good when he came out.
He's really good, and he's really athletic, second jumper. Now he just didn't pan out.
Hey, why did Ray want Justin Barber say all disrespect? He said all disrespect to those guys because they sucked, laughing his ass off. Jason said bold prediction: the Hornets will not be in the lottery. Yeah, because I believe they're 3 games over 500. They're in the 10th spot, and I'll get to that later on in the show. Ray Moore and Justin Barber Linda said that great. That's great for the fans that the NBA doesn't have a clear-cut pick. I'll be locked in more and have this year. And then J.K. the Chef said the Pacers also had Jay Huff and Zubac at center. And do they still got Wiseman? They still got Wiseman.
I think they do.
He's still in the league?
Yeah, I think Wiseman still, because he got hurt last year with the Pacers, and I thought he came back. I don't know if they kept him or not. But yeah, getting into March Madness when we got these games today that's going to round out the whole top 16, Sweet 16 format. Solon Sports, man, we got number 7, the Miami Hurricanes in basketball. Will be going against the Purdue Boilermakers, the number 2 seed. Braden Smith just broke the NCAA record for most assists in a career in the same uniform at that, just past Bobby Hurley. Like we talked about that yesterday, that record may never be broken, especially in the same uniform. What do you think about this one? So now that he has that record behind him, they can focus strictly on the basketball game. Who wins this game between Miami and Purdue?
Well, the winner of this game gets a chance to play my Texas Longhorns in San Francisco. I think that's where they play the game at somebody in the Bay Area in the next round. We're already in the Sweet 16. We're waiting on one of these teams to show up. We'll see which one shows up. That being said, I'm gonna go to Purdue Boilermakers to get the dub, and that way when we beat them, we'll be the legit team, not Gonzaga.
They Gonzaga the East.
I'm gonna take them down we're gonna keep going to higher seeds.
No doubt. And J.K. and Chef just confirmed that Wiseman is no longer with the Pacers, so I don't know who he played for then. He might be overseas.
He plays with OSHA tag over.
Yeah, it's crazy work. King Mink said, Jody, why does Indiana call themselves the Pacers? Because of the pace card and Indy 500. That's where they came from. That's the staple of the state of Indiana, which is a little bit from us. Indianapolis is only about an hour, 30 minutes from here. I think
about an hour. About an hour. They get the greatest player in franchise history back next year. Next year.
I heard they have really good food in there. Is that true?
Indianapolis jumping. So like you would really. It's jumping.
I'm just glad you didn't ask me the question about the pace card, because the next question you was going to ask me is, did David actually beat Goliath? I mean, that's how you try to do.
No, I was going to actually ask you, did Adam and Eve actually bite the forbidden fruit? That's what I was going to really ask you. Ray said Miami is playing sloppy right now. Purdue wins and beats the Longhorns. And he said it's about an hour and 10 minutes. It all depends where you come from. I live in Huber, so it's probably an hour and 30 for me. It depends on how I'm driving that day, though. But hey, Donald, who you got in this game, Miami or Purdue?
Purdue, man. I don't like picking Purdue, but I just played Miami in the ACC. I just don't think they are that tough anyway to get past to the Sweet 16. So I'm gonna go with Purdue.
Okay, Michael, the People Champ, who you got? You gonna go with your ACC compadres, or you gonna pick the Purdue Boilermakers?
We're a football school, so our basketball season is about to end there in that particular for that university, because we are a football school. We're not going to be in here in March celebrating the basketball team for all their accolades while we're underachieving in football like some universities. But hey, I digress.
I'll take my winning however I can get it, brother.
Hey, Mike, because he gonna be really talking about basketball season right after September, the first game of the season. He gonna be talking about basketball.
Hey, Jody, I'm not worried about that because the later long dudes are pretty good too.
We're gonna beat the fuck out of y'all.
No, y'all not, brother.
Is ticking. And I told my girl, I said, man, look, I said, I'm more excited about this game than I think either one of them are, because this is a win-win for me. It doesn't matter who wins this game. And we're starting now. When you get the spring ball, you can kind of start smelling. We still got summer to go, but you can start smelling it and like, ooh, this. Ooh.
Hey, Mike, it's gonna be so bad after that first game, then they're gonna have a Texas Tech shirt on the next week.
I'm gonna spread some hope to Texas, right? That I believe that the Longhorns women's basketball team will win the championship.
They won't be UConn. No fucking way. Nobody beat UConn. I'll put some money on that, Donald. I'll put some money on that. Ain't nobody. I'll take the field. I'll take UConn over the field.
UConn only won by 40 points the other day. They slacking.
That's not even good for them. Oh yeah, King Mix, man. My nephew lost the semifinal state game yesterday, 44-42. Very questionable offensive foul that should have been called, that didn't get called. But nevertheless, you can't blame it on one play. They had ample opportunity to win that game, and they just, to me, didn't execute down the stretch. Like, Ohio needs a shot clock, like my nephew always say. They were trying to hold the ball with 2 minutes to go in the game. That's cornball. That's cornball basketball. So that's what
I went to like 6. Donald was on the same trail. I seen about 6 of these playoff games. One, the shot clock in Ohio is so antiquated that we don't have one. It makes no sense. And all the teams are guilty of it. I've seen Troutwood run off 2 minutes. I've seen, that was unheard of when we was coming up. There's no black school that was going to hold the ball for 2-3 minutes and run the clock down. But I've seen that. That needs to stop. I talked to an official. The officials are not calling the push off with the forearm. I saw this when Dunbar played
Northfield,
when Cook and them were there, and they played Diebler and them just kept using this arm. I hadn't seen it as bad. At the end of the Trotwood game, there was a charge should have been called before the guy missed the shot. But this happened all the Tip City game against them. A lot in this last game where the arm ball just dribbling and using your off arm to create whatever space you wanted and lowering your shoulder. That's not been called. But I did talk to an official who said that should be being called. It should be called early in the game so that you have something to base this off of for not allowing it. But once they allow it, then you kind of, you got it.
And that's what happened yesterday. He did it all day, so it set it up to be able to be called. But just to give you a measure on the mic, it was about even. How bad the Detroit offensive was at the end of the game, it was the same exact way. They both was clear cut. But if you go back to the rules, I know this is off topic on the show, whatever. But if you go back to the rules, the people who are on the board who are not allowing a shot clock because it keeps them in the game, keeps them from getting blown out, you make the game shorter, you stay in the game. Or also, if you're not calling that call, that benefits who? Because you can't pressure how you want to because it gives them a chance to push off. But that's another subject. Also,
Donald, they did it back-to-back times at under a minute.
Back-to-back. He set it up. I know I can get that off. I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah, he did. He got the push off. He lost the ball, and they gave them the timeout, even though it was a loose ball. That was the first thing. They gave the team the timeout, and then the end of the game. Now, mind you, the kid could play though. Don't get me wrong. So the kid can flat out fucking play. He only a sophomore. The kid can fucking play. So I think his talent is there. But when they gave you, when you're good and you get an extra advantage. And they kept running the play. They kept running the same play over and over until he got the right matchup because they kept running pick and roll flare screen to get the right matchup to get one-on-one. And when they got the guy that he wanted, that's when he attacked the basket and he had about an inch or so. Pause.
Ray, where you at?
All right, I'm just gonna keep going. He was bigger. Pause. Anyway, King Mink said he got Purdue winning the day. Miss Glenn, appreciate you coming in, dropping in on the show. Jay Kane said if he drives about an hour away, and Ray said Miami has already overachieved from over 7 wins to 26 wins this year. Talking about basketball with the Miami Hurricane. I'm picking the Purdue Boilermakers. I'm gonna go with the Big Ten. The Big Ten are like 10-2 or 11-2 in this tournament or something like this, and the Big Ten will continue to roll. And maybe they can make me a liar and finally win a fucking championship since what 2000. We haven't won a championship in the Big Ten in 25, 26 years. Come on, Big Ten, quit letting me down. Y'all know I'm. He said inches are so disgusting, said Ray, more than just Barbara Lindsay. I'm a nasty motherfucker. You already know. But yeah, let's keep it moving. Donald, you got Kentucky against Iowa State. Man, this is a kind of surprising matchup because a lot of people didn't think Kentucky first should even made the tournament. Second, they thought they should have lost to Santa Clara. So what do they do against a very dominant team? And also, is Josh Jefferson playing in this game?
Oh, that changes my pick because without him, I was gonna honestly go with Kentucky, but he's back. I'm gonna take Iowa State to win.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Kentucky got a lot of the way they won the other day gives you a lot of momentum going forward. But I'm gonna still take Iowa State if Jefferson is playing.
Okay. Michael, the people saying who you got, Kentucky or Iowa State?
Kentucky's going to try to pull a Texas and be in a round that they don't belong in. But
damn, Mike.
But
what time the Tar Heels play today? What time they play? They play?
They got a game at the rec league, so.
Okay. That's gonna be on PBS, nigga. They gonna put
our program is on pause. Our program is on pause. There's no rec league. There's no Carmichael.
Oh, I forgot y'all looking for a new coach already. I forgot.
Until after we make a determination about our coach. So there is no basketball at
y'all
Carolina.
Fired Hubert Davis yet?
Not yet, but it's Sunday. Don't get fired on Sunday. But by 5 o'clock Monday, we might have.
He gonna get fired, bro.
If they fire Hubert Davis, and Hubert Davis just landed 2 of the top recruits in the country, man, that's fucked up.
That's North Carolina. They want to win. They don't give a shit about
they
all that.
They ain't shit in a while.
I know. I'm with you, but they gonna fire him. You watch. He might be fired by the end of this week.
Here's the thing, Jody. If he doesn't get fired, it will only be because someone's gonna say what you just said. He's got 2 of the top 10 recruits in the country coming in. Henry Vasar may be persuaded. I don't think he should be persuaded because I do think he's going to be a first-round pick if he did come out at 7 foot shooting threes. And
you can't hit free throws, Mike.
I can't hit free throws, but
maybe I should hire Mark Few.
He's 7. All I'm saying is that he's got the makeup of a guy that could play in the NBA, and they may pick him in the first round. Maybe, like 20 through the last 30. You're gonna start.
I got him at 26, Mike. I got him on my mock draft.
Yeah. So if he is but if he was to decide, you know what, I'm gonna stay another year because I like my NIL. I'm not gonna lose or improve my draft stock no matter when I come out. I'm gonna be in that same range. So I'm gonna take advantage of this NIL. Then you might have an argument for saying, okay, let's go 1 more year. But if not, the money may say, hey, look, we'll buy some more players, but we got to first. I think we need a year search for a coach also. I don't want to do nothing knee-jerk. I want to have a splash guy, not Bill Belichick, but an actual splash guy.
Bill Belichick ain't a splash? Best coach of all time? Mike, did you pick this game? Because you talking about North Carolina.
Okay. But I got Iowa State. They've been the better basketball team all year long. They don't have nothing against Kentucky. They scrapped all season. I don't think that they had the right mix of players. But Iowa State's been in the top 5 all year. So why would they not perform with all of their guns blazing today? You know what I'm saying?
So, okay. J.K. and the chef got a question before I get to you. So he said, can a player be really dynamic if they need have to have a matchup to be great? I say that's a part of basketball. If you don't have the matchups and you know that you got to go against AJ DeBonza, then you need to put 5 guys on the court that need to be able to guard him, or you got confidence can guard him, because you know they're going to try to do pick and rolls. And I know Texas felt that way. That's why they put so many different defenders. They said, fuck it, we're going to put your guys one-on-one with him, and we're going to stop everybody else. That's why they won the game.
Yeah.
I think that if it's a positionless basketball league now, yes, I don't think it matters what the matchup is. If you can dominate a player, they on the NBA floor, they on the NCAA floor, or they on the high school floor. If you can beat those guys, that's their fault. That's not your fault. That's their fault that they're not as good as you. So, yeah, I believe they could be dynamic. That answered the question. My man Chabby, he said Arizona Wildcats win it all. He's been very consistent because, like Charles Barkley called the tournament, the Arizona Wildcat Invitational.
Crazy. Me and Barkley agree on something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, and then and to Gerard's question, I just, as far as a matchup and people having to switch and get a matchup, I think Steph Curry is one of the greatest players to ever play. He can't score on certain people. It's always a matchup hunt.
Yeah, you always do. That's
so
hey, Donald. That's called coaching.
Yeah, so I believe that you can be dynamic if you need a matchup, because that's part of basketball.
Who can Steph Curry not score on?
LeBron.
Anybody taller, hold their hands over. Kevin Love.
The niggas shoot half-court shots. How you not score?
In every game that I've seen Steph play against these guys, he scored 20 or more points. They're not stopping him.
I think
right. So when you look at the game, when you watch the game, Steph Curry never scores on. I'm not gonna say never because he's good. He's gonna score. But I'm saying for the most part, he doesn't score on his matchup. He's always matchup hunting. Always.
I think that is the nature that I don't see no team. You don't win 4 champions. You're not an MVP. You're not a 25-point plus game. You're not the best all-time 3-point shooter if you're getting stopped.
Hold on. What we saying, Mike? If LeBron James said, "Fuck it, I'm not gonna play no offense. I'm gonna lock in and just play Steph Curry the whole game," Steph Curry's not gonna have a great game.
I've seen LeBron defend Steph, and he cuts down his perimeter shooting because of the height differential. But then Steph goes into ball handling mode and goes right around LeBron.
But the thing about it is they don't put LeBron on him. That's my whole point. And then I seen LeBron James lock fucking Derrick. We love Derrick Rose. I seen LeBron James put the clamps on fucking Derrick Rose in the playoffs. If you don't believe me, go look at that playoff series, because I'm saying pause, because he's so much bigger and athletic, even in the guys that we consider athletic. And he's more athletic than the guys we think are athletic.
How many inches does LeBron have?
Yo, I'm not getting so stop. Stop.
Hold
on, I gotta keep going.
Just
I gotta
a
go
question.
real quick. Jason said, Happy Levy said Roy Williams is gonna put Hubert Davis out of his misery. Jay Kane said Jalen Brunson cooks everyone who guards him. SGA cooks everyone who guards him. Dynamic players. Some people struggle with players. If they struggle with players, like Jason said, Jared Vanderbilt caused a lot of disruption for players, but he ain't gonna cause none on the offense.
I got to rebuttal that. Jalen Brunson cannot score a basket on them Twins.
True.
Flat out. He can't score. It's certain players you can't score on. If you can stay close and put your hand over him, he can't. It's certain people can't score. But that's basketball, though. It's only certain people who can score on anybody.
Yeah. My man, there you go. Larry said Kevin Love clamped Steph Curry when it mattered. He said Kawhi Leonard. If Kawhi Leonard lock in on you, especially like a Steph Curry, somebody smaller, it's hard to score on. Don't say I ain't saying that. Only time I ever seen somebody cook Kawhi Leonard was fucking Luka Doncic, and I was in Texas and almost got in a fight at that bar because hey, I was about to whoop some ass down in Texas. But anyway, Jay Kane and Seth said he said Curry cooked both Tatum and Brown, who won the chip. He didn't cook them. He talking about the Thompson twins, Amen Thompson, that played for the Houston Rockets. But let's keep it moving. Solo Sports. Who you got? Kentucky or Iowa State?
Oh, Iowa State over Kentucky. The bluegrass runs out now. I'm gonna go Iowa State.
I'm gonna go Iowa State. I just think that game against Santa Clara might have been too emotional for them, and they planned such a quick turnaround. If it was a regular season game and they're able to have maybe 4 or 5 days off to really detox off of that win, I just think that Iowa State is a well-oiled machine. And then a guy that played solid. A freshman, Torre, is no longer a freshman because the guy from Paris, France, had a huge game in the game before to pick up the slack when Josh Jefferson went out. I think he continues to get better. That's one of those freshmen we don't even talk about. That's really good because he played for Iowa State. Iowa State beats Kentucky, and I can say this is a successful season for Kentucky. But y'all got to get some guys in there that can score. Y'all need a John Wall. Y'all need an SGA type of player to come in next year because that's the problem, Donald. They don't have nobody that can score the ball on a consistent basis on that team.
They better rehire Calipari or them.
Didn't dude yesterday have 30 points?
You missing what I'm saying? He's not consistent. Have you been scoring 30 points all season? No, he scored 30 points. I'm talking about we used to seeing guys that play for Kentucky that score at will. We talking about number one draft pick type of players on Kentucky. They don't have a number one draft pick on their roster, and they need a number one draft pick type of guy on their roster.
Hey, Jody.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kentucky, if you guys noticed, like during the halftime of these games, and when they go back to the booth, not to the booth, when they show Jalen Rose and those other players, they're sitting up there talking about the games, that Jamal Mashburn's there, but he's never wearing a jacket or a suit. If you notice that, he just he got regular clothes on. Like, what is that suit at?
Because I think that the media has definitely changed, so where I think that they're more wrapped up in who the guys they can get. Like, okay, Jamal Mashburn is an icon of college basketball. We know that he's a great Kentucky great, and everybody knows he's an All-American. So I think they like, shit, Jamal, come on the show. He's like, man, I ain't about to put no damn suit on either. You gonna take it or you gonna leave it.
I know it just seems weird to me. That's all.
It seemed weird to me too. I'm like, nigga, you can't, nigga, because Jamal Mashburn is actually making more money in his career than he made in his career. So nigga, you got enough money for a suit. Also, real quick, Jason said Jody Minks, and he said Antonio Reed talking about the Kentucky guy that can score.
Jody Minks.
Tony Delk was a scorer. J. Kane and Chef said the time he said Donald, he had 40 points and 32 points against Detroit in the playoff, talking about Brunson. But I was talking about the kid when he played against his brother. I think he's a better defensive player. A-Man Thompson for Houston is a better defender than his brother. His brother
go ahead and stop scoring. He's gonna be the reason they keep losing. But go ahead.
But he can score if he ain't scored that shit against them in the regular season because Detroit been beating the shit out of New York Knicks in the regular season this year. But that is the regular season. So we're gonna go there. But this
Jamal
is
Mashburn is out there dressing like he's on a podcast.
That's what I'm saying. Mike, it's like motherfucker, you gonna either take this motherfucking interview or not, nigga.
He got a members only jacket on. So what the hell going on?
Hey, so that nigga's like, shit, I'm about to go get some milk. I'm gonna stop at the studio. Nigga. You need me to come in here because I gotta stop at the corner store. Soul on Sports, man. We just talked about this. This is probably one of the marquee games today. We got 5 seed St. John's going against a 4 seed Kansas. We got 2 legendary coaches, Self versus Patino. Don't get any better than this on the coaching ranks. So, who you got in this matchup?
Oh man, this might be the game of the day today. This one, I'm gonna go St. John's. I think their defense is gonna dominate in this game today. I'm gonna go St. John's over Kansas.
St. John's over. Did you know Kansas struggled? They were up by like almost 25 points, and that CA Baptist that Mike was making fun of, man, Mike was cracking up like, where they from? Remember Mike was like, where they from? He was like, it don't matter. You're going to be going home wherever they from. They closed the gap to 6 points with a minute left in that game. I said, oh, shit. They end up losing by 8. But they gave Kansas all they can handle. Michael, the people saying, who you got? You got your boy Darren Peterson that has his might all going against St. John's, a bunch of hey, St. John's got a bunch of grown-ass men on their team, though. They got niggas all over 26 years old. Who you got?
Let me tell you something.
A second NBA contract out there playing.
St. John's look like when we were kids and you go out to the court and when you about 17, 18, you got all your boys, but then all them like 28 and 30-year-olds still on the court want to play y'all, and they're going to be more physical, but y'all going to be quicker. They're going to get tired. You know how that dynamic goes. Yeah. You see it when you've been out there balling, you play ball, and you play with your uncles, and they try to roughhouse you, but y'all eventually get to the point where y'all can beat them just because y'all a little bit better, a little bit more athletic, a little bit younger, all that stuff. That's what this game looks like to me. St. John's going out there with them grown-ass men, and Darren Peterson is going to get a taste of what the NBA This is kind of what the NBA looks like, son, because that guy that got on the low block who used to play for Kansas, Eshafor, I think his name is. The big man that St.
Yeah.
John's.
I think you're talking about
He
that.
played at Kansas and now plays at St. John's. And then you got the kid from North Carolina who comes off the bench for them, who probably Ian Jackson, who probably should have stayed where he was. And then you got all them other guys. They got a small forward that's like 6'7", 6'8", but he's a great on-ball defender. I love St. John's. I love the way they played against UConn. That was the best basketball game I've seen all year. Was a UConn St. John's game. I think it was last weekend for their conference tournament. So I really fell in love with them. They're my dark horse team. I got them getting to the finals, and I'm banking on them to take care of some business for me later this week after they get this little work out the way today. So I got St. John's.
Hey, you're a wild boy. Donald, St. John's probably got more transfers on their team than anybody in the country. I'm joking. I don't know if that's true. But they're playing against number 4 Kansas. Donald, who you got in this matchup?
I think he froze up.
Yeah.
Oh, you got
there you go. Go ahead, Donald. Who you got in this game?
Donald.
We can't hear Donald right now. Donald, we can't hear your audio. So come back on. I'll go ahead and answer it, then you can answer. In this game right here, I'm going Kansas. I know you guys fell in love with St. John's, but I think Darren Peterson is one of those guys that all this stuff that's going on with Darren Peterson not playing, or whatever. Have y'all noticed he hasn't said a word? Have you noticed that he has not said a word? He has not did one press conference. We have not heard him say one. I done heard Cam Boozer talk. I done heard AJ DeBonza talk. I done heard Kingston Flemings. I done heard Darius Aker. But the player that we have not heard talk has been Darian Peterson. And I think that this kid, even though it's a lot of turmoil going around him, he's really soaking this all in and understanding, like, hey, listen, I just got to go out there and perform when I have to perform. I think this is going to be one of them games. I think that he might go for 25 or better in this one. So I got the Kansas Jayhawks winning this game and having an epic matchup with the Duke Blue Devils in the Sweet 16 round. And it might be a game for the ages because I think Kansas has a chance to win the national championship if he plays up to his potential. So, but like I said, nobody has ever heard him really talk. So all the criticism he's getting, I don't think is deserving. You know what I mean? Because he's not saying anything. Everybody else is speaking. He ain't saying a word.
Well, I don't think that matters, Joe. I think all people care about is that you go out and perform on the court. I don't think like Kawhi Leonard never talks, and when he does, he has a weird laugh. but all we care about is that you get on the court and perform. That's the only thing people really care about, honestly.
True. I think Kawhi Leonard got uncomfortable. He just seemed uncomfortable around people.
Yeah, he does.
And so his demeanor, you're right. His demeanor is similar to his because it just seemed like Darren Peterson is uncomfortable. It's like he's being well coached in the background. And I just like the fact that he's not even talking. King Ming said he's going with St. John's. Donald, who you got in this game between St. John's and Kentucky?
I'm gonna go with Kansas. I think Kansas is gonna find a way to.
I said Kentucky. Kansas. You got Kansas?
I got Kansas. I don't like how St. John's shoot the ball a lot of times, but they athletic and get downhill. But I'm gonna take Kansas to win today.
Yeah, and I apologize. I said Kentucky. I meant Kansas. So I
was praying for Kansas to win.
Next up, Michael, the people chat. We got number 9 Iowa. One of the last teams I believe that got in. They struggled in the Big Ten down the stretch. They go against number 1 Florida, who the only hiccup they had was against Vanderbilt, but they've been on the road the last about 2 months of this season. Do you think they continue rolling over the Iowa Hawkeyes?
Barbecue chicken. I guarantee that the Florida Gators win this game and win it running away. This is like a deer crossing a railroad track that can't hear, and you see it coming, but you can't save them, and it's just gonna be all bad because Florida is loaded. They're ready to play. They're playing at a high level, and Iowa, I think they can't help but to be happy to be there. They're gonna give it a yeoman's effort, but by about the 8-minute mark in the first half, the separation will start and it'll get ugly.
Okay. Donald, who you got, Iowa or Florida in this one?
Florida, 21 past the sticks. I think Florida gonna blow them out.
Wow. Last time you said that the team didn't get blown out. I think, matter of fact, the other team won. Let's see if that happens again. Soul on Sports, Iowa or Florida?
Alligator's gonna take care of this one easy today. I think it'll be easy dub for him.
I agree. I think Florida wins. I didn't think that Iowa should have been in the tournament the way they played down the stretch, the way they played in the Big Ten tournament. They do got a kid on their team that I believe is a potential first-round draft pick, but the bench is kind of thin at Iowa. Florida has I think, a deeper bench than a lot of people give them credit for, and they got two guards that can really score the ball. Boogie Flynn is they kind of starting 2 point guards, Boogie Flynn and Lee. Both of those guys kind of play point guard, and then they got that amazing front line. That's going to be too much for Iowa. I think Iowa wins by 15 going away. So I agree with you guys on that standpoint. Michael the People said we got number 6 Tennessee going against I believe the most disrespected team in all of college basketball, the Virginia Cavaliers, who now have 30 wins on the season. Ain't too many teams that's left in the tournament still got 30 wins. Who you got, Mike?
I got Tennessee. Virginia should be disrespected because of their style of play and the makeup of their roster. They are a good team, no doubt about it. And I have nothing against Virginia, but they, just like Clemson, just like some of these other teams, when you play a brand of ball that allows the other team to stay close, it puts you in position to lose games in the tournament. You have to come out and establish dominance as quickly as you can so that you can move on. You know what I'm saying? And their style of playing like that. I told a guy that was a Wright State ticket holder, I'm like, that game's going to be closer than you think, because the way Virginia plays, they don't separate from anybody. They just kind of end up beating you when they can. And with teams that they've played, they've been able to do that. But when they lost to Carolina at full tilt, when a guy like Caleb Wilson creates problems for them, and they're going to play a team that's got guys like that. And I don't think that they'll be able, their brand of basketball will win out in this game. I got Tennessee.
So who you got, Tennessee or Virginia?
I agree with Jody. Virginia, they've been disrespected. No one really talks about them, but they're a really good basketball squad. I'm gonna go Virginia to take care of business over the other university, the other UT. I'm gonna go Virginia.
You talking about the urinary tract?
Yeah.
Hey, King Ming said it. You know he going Virginia. He can't stand the fucking Volunteers. That's crazy work. He in the same state, and he cannot. Now, he loves some Memphis. King Ming loves some Memphis. He like Vanderbilt, but he don't give a fuck about Tennessee.
I understand why now. It all makes sense.
Why?
He likes the hood teams. He don't like those suburban teams, and he UT as a suburban team. But the person who said it best about UT was Steve Spurrier when they was asking him a question. He said about Tennessee. He said, "Well, you know you can't spell citrus without the U and the T," in reference to the Citrus Bowl that they commonly found themselves in during the Spurrier era.
That's crazy. Donald, did you pick this game?
The Tennessee game?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I'm gonna take Tennessee though.
Listen, man. I'm not gonna keep letting y'all disrespect this Cavalier ball club that got 30 wins on the season. That is the most recent ACC team to even win a championship out of that conference. I'm going Virginia. Virginia is a dark horse team for me. They got a freshman down there, DeRitter, that can play. He don't get mentioned with the other freshmen, but he gives you about 17 points a game. I think he like 6 in the ACC in scoring. They just do what they coach. What I don't like is when players do what the coach tell them to do, and then they get in trouble for it. Like, they execute what the coaches tell them to do. You ain't got to do everything. Just do what I'm telling you to do, and we're going to be successful. This is a prime example of a team that if you do what the coach tell them to do, you win 30 games. And this is a situation where Virginia beats Tennessee. Tennessee is a good team. Gillespie plays fantastic, but I think they got enough perimeter defense to stop Gillespie. I like Virginia to keep moving, man, because y'all going to quit disrespecting the team that actually has achieved something.
Hey, Jody. First of all, I would ask you, what did they achieve? They didn't win the ACC. They did not win the ACC tournament. So I don't know what achievement they have other than winning games. That's going to be
how many games? How many wins do you North Carolina have?
27 or
24.
something.
24. How many wins do Virginia have? 30.
Did Virginia beat North Carolina this year?
No, they didn't.
No, and this is what I'm saying.
But so 30 wins ain't an achievement?
So here's what I'm saying. I've seen the Utah Jazz have a great regular season in the NBA. The Lakers are in the midst of having a really good regular season in the NBA. Come playoff time, that shit doesn't translate to winning a championship. And this is what I'm saying about Virginia. And I think Donald said the same thing because we're ACC guys. We watch this.
But they the last team to win a championship out of the ACC, though.
But they don't have the same. They don't have the same coach.
Yeah, do they have the same players they had then?
They got DeRidder, who is really good. That gets no respect.
What I'm saying is they don't have the same coach. So that's going to be first off. This is not the same
They don't
coach.
have Tony Bennett. I give you that. They don't have Tony Bennett.
All right. This is a new regime, and it's the Virginia that I've seen a lot, where they're good in the regular season. We're not knocking them. Donald played against them. North Carolina played against them. We don't watch them play all season long. They're a good regular season team. They're a good team. But when it comes to playing a team like Tennessee, I would favor Tennessee.
I cannot wait to this game, and I'm right, because I'm going to bring this clip. Y'all know I'm going to bring this clip.
And I'll tell you what I look at them as. Well, not this past year, but you know how Penn State, they be good, but then they just can't beat Ohio State or Michigan?
Yeah.
It's like Duke. I mean, it's like they're not going to beat Duke or North Carolina. They're going to win some games. They're going to be good, but that's about that.
But I agree with that, but that's disrespectful when they're the last team out of y'all conference to win a championship, and they just won it 5 or 6 years ago. We're talking like it's y'all know how hard it is to win a fucking championship.
Right.
Y'all understand how hard.
That's not the same team.
I get it, but nobody ever has the same team when they win a championship.
It's not even the same organization.
They got the same style. They still run a pack line defense. They still run, like you said, Mike, they run a methodical offense. That's the same shit that they did under Tony Bennett.
They won a championship, but they're also the first and only team to be a 1 seed and lose to a 16 seed.
Y'all almost lost to Seattle. What are we talking about?
Did we almost, or did we lose to them?
Y'all the number 1 seed overall. Y'all won.
Right.
But the thing about it is Virginia gonna get some respect around this motherfucker. And I'm gonna bring this clip up when they beat Tennessee. Y'all know I am.
All right. Well, tomorrow, like when we're here at 7:30, then bring your white flag and your crying towel.
But I'm normally right, and you normally duck me when I'm right. That's all the time. All right. Solo Sports. We got number 9 Utah State versus number 1 Arizona. They called this the Arizona Invitational. That's what Charles Barkley called it, meaning nobody else can beat Arizona. I don't believe that. Well, who you got in this game? Utah State, can they pull the upset over Arizona?
Not a snowball's chance in hell they're going to beat the Arizona Sweet Teas. I'm going to go Arizona to take care of business. What's the Utah State mascot? Donald, do you know? I bet you know, Donald.
I don't know. I'm not the most familiar with Utah as a whole.
The Utah State Mormons. I don't know. I'm going to go Arizona for the dub today. That's easy.
So I think they're the Utah State Malones.
Whoa. So that means they like the Sweet 16 too, huh?
No, they when they say teams, are we talking 13? Are we talking 13? Hey, Michael, the People's Champ. We need to start. Hey, we don't mean anything by it. If you ever dealt with an older man, because he's an older man that like younger women. Anyway, all right, Michael, the People's Champ. And we talking R. Kelly. We talking Karl Malone. He shouldn't have did it. We wouldn't talk about you, motherfucker. Fucking rat bastard. Michael, the People's Champ. Number 9, Utah State against Arizona. Can Utah State actually pull the upset?
No. This is barbecue chicken. This is another one of those guarantees that Arizona will win this game. And then they'll advance to the next round. And we'll see how that goes.
Okay. Donald, I know you don't believe this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. What percentage, I'm going to give you a percentage. What percentage do you have that Utah State can pull the upset over Arizona?
1%. I can't say 100%, but 1%. Arizona won't lose another game this season.
The game is tied right now.
This is true.
Hey, listen. That's crazy work. I'm gonna say that I do believe that Utah State can't beat Arizona. I mean, Arizona has showed me it don't matter who you put up against them. Iowa State, they got 3 guys that can take over a game. They got the Big 12 Player of the Year in Bradley. They got Cole Pete, and they got the best player on their team is Burris. I believe he's the best player. And then they got a couple other guys that can take over games. We've seen them off the bench take over games. Arizona State will win this game. It won't be pretty.
Don't forget about Bryce.
Because Bryce actually leads the lead in high fives and chest bumps. He made the All-American sideline reporter.
They made a. I was on Twitter. Bryce got a highlight tape. It's all high fives and chest bumps.
He leads the nation in that. But I got Arizona to win the game, even if the game is tied. They'll do what Duke did yesterday and eventually pull away. They're actually coached by. I like their coach. Their coach is pretty solid too. He has the most wins in Arizona history in his first 4 years as the head coach. But this one could be a little bit more intriguing. Michael, the people saying we got number 7 UCLA going against number 2 UConn. UConn is a little. They had to have a 31-27 performance to beat a 15 seed. That's not a good look. And now UCLA, man, one of the hottest teams in college basketball down the stretch, man. Who you got in this one?
I'm going with UConn. I think Hurley will fucking argue his way through this round of victories. That guy is I'm on the fence about him. I don't know if I love it or hate it because I think I do both at the same time. But I do like the construct of their team. And I know that UCLA is built in the image of Mick Cronin and Bobby Huggins. So they're going to put up a fight. But I think that UConn has enough to withstand the physicality. They're not going to be out physical. You might win the game, but you're not going to out physical. And the only way that UCLA can win would be to out physical them, and I don't see that happening. So I got UConn winning down the stretch. But it may be a little bit closer than people think.
Okay. Donald, who you got in this game between UConn and UCLA?
Upset City, UCLA, UConn goes home.
Ooh. Hold on. No, you ain't walking out on that one. Why?
I just don't. I've been watching UConn a whole season. They just don't look that. They don't look that strong. I just don't see them. Stephon Castles ain't walking through that door. They don't have nobody to get busy like that. Like Mullins is good, but it's like a potential good. It's like a. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I just see UCLA being able to beat them. UCLA got the guard that can do a lot with the ball, and I just see UCLA knocking them off today.
I'm a big fan of Donovan Ditt, if that's who you're talking about. I'm a big fan of Donovan Ditt. This guy, he controlled the tempo of every game that UCLA plays. Solo Sport, what do you think, man? UCLA, UConn, what do you think, man?
I agree with Donald as well. I think UConn's one of those teams that they possibly shouldn't even be a 2 seed. I think they go down today. I think Dan Hurley goes full Bobby Knight and throws a chair on the court, headbutts a ref, slaps a cheerleader. He's gonna crash out like the young people say. So I'm going UCLA for the dub today.
That nigga said smack a cheerleader though. Hey, you wild for that one. I can't agree with you guys. I gotta agree with Mike on this one. I got UConn. The reason why I say UConn got 5 players on the team that can go off and be the leader of that team. Nobody thought that Reed Jr. was gonna have the game that he had, but he was necessary. I didn't see Solo Ball have a game where he didn't took over. I didn't see Damaris. I didn't see Damaris take over games. We didn't see Mullen take over games. We didn't see Caravan take over games. They're really, I say 5 guys for sure, if necessary, could be the leading scorer for UConn. So we're not gonna have all 5 of those guys off. And I think that Dan Hurley is a premier coach in this league. 2 championships in the last 3 years is very impressive. Back to back. And one of the years he won every game by double digits. Let's not forget about that. They find a way to beat UCLA, and y'all know I've been raving about Donovan Ditt even before the Big Ten tournament. I think this guy's dynamic. I think he's going to be on somebody's NBA roster next year, maybe as a late 2nd round pick or something like that. And he plays his way onto the roster just like Bruce Thornton from Ohio State. Had to throw that in there, Mike. But I think that UConn wins this game because of their championship pedigree, and then they got a couple big guys down low that can block shots, change shots. UCLA are thin on their bench. I think they only go about 7 deep. I think UConn can go 10 deep on their bench. Pause. Ooh. You go 10 deep. Hey, Mike, if you going 10 deep.
If you don't tap out.
Yeah.
Hey, you going 10
You're
deep.
going 10 deep. You're going further than I'm going.
But last but not least, Donald, we got two teams that are missing two key players on their team. Texas Tech, of course, missing JT Toppin, the All-American, unfortunate injury. I think when that against Arizona, I believe he messed up his knee against Arizona. And then you got Alabama, who's still playing without Holloway, their second leading scorer. Don't know if he's going to return to the team, even if they win this game. Maybe his collegiate career is over. I'm not sure. I'm not going to speak on that because I don't know where they're at legally. But who you got in this game where both teams are missing key players? Who you have in this matchup going forward?
I got Texas Tech. I got Texas Tech. Texas Tech even been playing well without Toppin. I do think Texas Tech is more of a complete team. I think that even though Toppin's better than Holloway, but I think the Texas Tech got a more rounded team, so it hurt Alabama more losing him because of lack of the other players on the team. So I'm gonna take Texas Tech to win this game.
Okay. Solo on Sports. I'm ready for this surprise game you're going to pick. We actually got a Texas team in Texas Tech versus Alabama. I'm just wondering, who are you going to pick in this song?
Well, I'm going Red Raiders to everyone's surprise on the show. I pick Texas teams like Jody picks Big Ten teams every single fucking game. So we're on the same page, brother. Texas Tech wins. They've been, like Donald said, they've been playing good basketball without JT Toppins. They're still playing some good ball. And Alabama is going to be without Franklin Saint. I guess he's going to be trying to figure out what he's doing. If he's living this alternative lifestyle to try to make some extra cash. I guess his NIL hasn't kicked in, so he tried to do his Franklin Saint. So I'm going to go Texas Tech for the dub today.
Did you call Holloway Franklin? You got a nigga Ghost. You got a nigga
Franklin
Ghost.
Saint. Ghost.
Yo, you wild, man.
Show me the game, Ghost.
So was wild. Michael, the people said, man, Texas Tech, man, without JT Toppins, like Donald said, been playing very well, but Alabama got a 13. They beat a 13 seed without their second best player. What do you think happens in this matchup right here?
Dope, man. Dope, man. What you said?
Yeah.
Oh, man, there's a wild story about that here in Dayton. I'll never forget that. But yeah, I'm without Tariq, I don't think that Alabama will be able to accomplish their season goals. I think Texas Tech is a more well-rounded team, has been a better, more well-rounded team all year. I think the pace of play and Alabama is not a great defensive team by any stretch. And the fact that I hate Nate Oates doubles down on this even more. So I will be going with Texas Tech to win this game in advance.
I'm going to agree with y'all. Without Larry Hoover, it's going to be very difficult for Alabama to beat Texas.
Without Rick Ross?
Big meat.
It's not, but no, even if they did have Holloway, I think it would be very difficult to beat this Texas Tech team. But but the matchup I'm really, really intrigued to see is going to be LeBaron Feiland Jr. going against Christian Anderson, two guys that I believe are going to be first-round draft picks, two guys that's going to probably be competing against each other for 10-plus years in the NBA. I think those guys are that good. Feiland had 29 points in their first matchup. He's going to need about 35 to beat Texas Tech, and I don't think he's going to reach that mark. I think he's going to have a big game. Christian Anderson is a double-double in points and assists. I think he goes for 18 and 10 in this game. Kids like Atwater, I like Watts on the low post. They got so many different players outside of JT Toppins. So that just goes to show what Texas Tech has been doing in their recruiting class the last couple seasons. Texas Tech has survived without having a guy that potentially could have been he was the reigning Big 12 Player of the Year. Y'all are still competitive without having that player in an All-American. I like Texas Tech, even if they were fully staffed at Alabama, even if they had Rick Ross on their roster, I think they would still
the real Rick Ross.
The real Rick Ross on their roster. But yeah, I got Texas Tech to go ahead and move to the Sweet 16, which I think they deserve to do so. They've been playing hard all year. Whoa. But that's our that'll round out our Sweet 16s. We'll talk about it more tomorrow because we'll know all the matchups for the Sweet 16s will be set. But I got one more question before we get you guys out there. We got an NBA game of the day. We got two teams that are really playing good basketball as of late. We got the Minnesota Timberwolves at 43-28, and we got the Boston Celtics at 47-23. They're 4 games behind the Detroit Pistons. They have the 4th best record in the NBA. Shout out to Jaylen Brown for doing it for the most part, but the real leader came back to really right the ship. I know it's gonna piss Mike off, but Mike, who you got in this matchup today? They play at 8:00 on the cock. They will be on the cock tonight.
Wow.
Who you got, Mike?
Well, Ant-Man, I believe, is out for this game.
Yeah.
So with that being the case, I expect the Celtics to roll. Yeah, that's it. No Ant-Man, no way, no how, barbecue chicken.
Okay. Donald, who you got in this one? Timberwolves, Celtics, two teams that got aspirations for the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I'm with Mike. No, and the Timberwolves on the road. It should be a easy win for the Celtics. Should be.
Okay. Solons, who you got?
I agree with everyone. The Celtics are a better basketball team, and their coach is very good. He's kind of strange, but he's a damn good basketball coach. So I'm going to go Celtics for the win today.
So only problem I got with their coach is you got all that money and you cannot get your fucking hairline right here. What the fuck? You can't get, nigga, they can't shape your edges up a little. Listen,
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Come to Ray Morris, Barber Lindsay, get you together, man. Come all the way to Dayton, call him, send him to Boston. Nigga, get your hairline together. You got the Tim Duncan special, nigga. Get you a hairline, my boy. You ain't even that old. Get you a hairline. Shit. But anyway, all jokes aside, man, Missoula, big shout out to him, man. He's a hell of a coach, man.
Hell of a coach.
He actually won the championship when Udoka couldn't. I mean, let's keep it real. Udoka had Brown and Tatum for about 2 years and couldn't win it, and he came in his first year and won it. But nevertheless, man, the Celtics, man, I think that if I'm Boston, I will rest Jason Tatum in this game and make sure he's ready. We see that he's getting in basketball shape. I would only play him every 2 or 3 games to keep him fresher for the playoffs. I would even start resting Jaylen Brown a little bit because I don't think they catch the Pistons even without Cade Cunningham. I don't think they can make up a 4-game deficit. I think go ahead, be solidified with the second round second seed. But I like the Boston Celtics in this game. Real quick before we get out of here, the same thing about the NBA, Donald. At what point in time? I know we beating the dead horse. Why every time we look up, motherfuckers ain't playing? Like I just said that they should rest some players, but they're probably solidified the second seed. But we got teams that still fighting for playoff spots, and motherfuckers is not playing. Why?
They don't feel like it. If you don't feel like going to work today, and you know you get a guaranteed paid day off, no points, no fire. If you don't feel like going, you're not going to go.
But the playoffs, some of these teams playoffs. Their lives are on the line. It's different if you're SGA in Oklahoma City. It's different if you Wemby with San Antonio. It's different if you Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown with Boston or Cade Cunningham. And Cade would still be playing if he didn't have a collapsed lung.
Yeah.
It's different. These guys are on the cusp of either you're in the 6th seed and you don't want to do the playing game, or you on the cusp of not even making the playoffs, but guys are still taking a break. I see what you're saying, Donald, but that's kind of fucked up.
Ed been out. He's actually been out like a whole week and a half. So
he's hurt though. He's actually hurt.
He actually hurt. So a lot of guys, and you just don't feel like you might not feel like. And like a lot of guys, or you get to seeing certain stuff on insiders and stuff. A lot of guys are showing up to the game thinking they're gonna play and not playing. Like damn, who was it? It's somebody just who got a new shoe coming out. Was it Ant? Forget what it was, but they just pulled up and they was mad because they couldn't play. They like, we penciled you out, and they was like, no, I need to play this game because my shoe, the shoe rollout. He was unveiling a new shoe, and they're like, we gonna rest you tonight. So a lot of times it don't be up to them. Like you see the stuff with Giannis and the Bucks, they mad at him because he won't shut it down.
True. So what do you think of?
So a lot of the players, like, because nobody can say nothing to the owners and stuff. So a lot of the players catch a lot of the flack for a lot of stuff that's not even their fault.
Okay. So what do you feel about that, man? Players that like Donald said, just don't feel like playing. Like, how do you get paid that amount of money and you don't feel like fulfilling your contract?
Well, it's guaranteed contracts. That's. I love the players are getting paid, but when you have guaranteed money, no matter what, you don't fear losing your job. It's going to happen. The NFL, you don't have this issue because players don't like missing games because they figure if the backup gets in there and plays well, I might not get my spot back and I'm gonna lose my contract. In the NBA, like Donald said, I'm going to get paid regardless. So they're thinking, well, fuck. If you look at, hey, not only that, if these guys aren't playing, the other team's not playing their starters either. So fuck, we might as well all rest together.
That's crazy work, Mike. What do you think about it? I know you got something to say. What do you think about that shit?
So the history on this whole topic started back in the 80s when Pat Riley, the Lakers would be up by so many games out in the West that probably the last 4 or 5 games, he might sit Magic, he might sit Kareem, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But that was, we are up 12 games in the West. There's no chance of us losing the West. We're number 1 seed in the West. Let's reduce that. Popovich took it to a whole new level, and now the organizations have adopted this along with the players, because Donald is right. There are instances, and you've heard players talk about this, they just don't say a lot about it. They really take more to blame than what they should, because some of these organizations are doing the analytics and, well, guys that only play this amount of games per year are more efficient in the playoff. You see where I'm going with all of this? So you got them doing it. Then players do what players do and what employees do. If they see that you gonna do that, well, if I got a day where I don't feel it or I don't, you know, then I'm gonna do it. So then it becomes this whole mess that is ruining the game with the fans. And I only think that it's at the point that the fans revolt against the NBA in the fashion that I do by not watching the shit if the marquee players are not playing or attending the games, even though you might get bamboozled on that because you may not even know that the guy's not playing. So after you bought your family of 4 tickets to this game and you done spent $1,500 to go see backups play, and I think that's wrong. But until fans do something about it, then the owners don't care, the players don't care, and this is what you got.
And then you got, oh my bad, but you got situations like even the Daryl Morey stuff. It was when he was calling him a liar, it was more to it than that. You know, it was like James Harden when he was saying he was hurt and he was gonna come back, and they were saying like basically make sure he missed a certain amount of games, sit him here because you don't have to pay out extra super maxes. You don't have, if they don't make certain teams, they can't get that amount of money. So a lot of owners don't want them to make them teams because it saves them 30, 40 million here, 20, 30 million here.
That's crazy work. Eagles Philly said, good show today. Good brothers, keep doing your thing. Stay safe, stay blessed. You do also enjoy this fabulous weather we have in the Midwest. But yeah, I look at it from a standpoint of I'm really not even, I don't even know how to feel anymore because I understand the business side of it, but I also understand the fan side of it. And also now that we're the media, it's our job to either call them out or agree with them or whatever it is, but it needs to be talked about. Because it's a disrespect. Mike made a good point, man. If I got 3 boys or my nephews or my sons or even my daughters or whatever want to go to a game, my grandson want to go to a game, and I work hard for my money. You know, I work extremely hard for my money. And if my grandson come up to me and he got a Steph Curry jersey on, and we go travel. Let's say we go from here, we travel to all the way to the Bay Area to go watch, you know, Steph Curry play. It's maybe the only time in history I can take my son and my grandson to a game. And then they say Steph Curry's not playing. Like, I think in those aspects, if those star players are not playing, SGAs are not playing, Giannis, whoever it is not playing, they should be obligated to come at least sign autographs, like, or take some pictures. I think that's the only way we can fix it. If they're not going to be on the court, huh?
How about a full refund?
No, I mean, that too, or it should be something because it's not fair. Like I said, I'm an average guy, man, and I don't make a ton of money to be going out here and wasting $1,500. But I want that moment with my son. I want that moment with my nephews, my grandson, my son, anybody in my family, friends. I want to have that moment. So at the very least, NBA, if you're listening, at the very least, can y'all have a situation where y'all do free autographs, free pictures? Like, come on, do something for these people that are coming and traveling to see y'all because they love y'all. Like, I understand if it's an owner situation, at least ownership make it where they're available for these players and these fans to sign autographs at the very least.
Like you remember what was the last year when they were saying Joel Embiid should go ahead and retire to save the organization their money, and he's like, well, when I don't play, you don't give these people their money back, so why would I give you my money back?
Right. And I'm okay with that. But so what do you feel about them at least having about, okay, we see that little Jimmy came to this game, they dad. Can you at least take a picture with him? Right?
Yeah, I mean, you can at least do that if you're gonna be sitting down there with your street clothes on if you're not hurt. I mean, but then you got the autograph thing. You got to figure, well, this dude might have a contract with some autograph tops or something. And they can't go around signing autographs, so that might be a thing also. So
can't sign autographs. You can't have a certain drink at the podium when you're doing your press conference.
There's a lot to it, man.
But the game,
I think the actual game is the least important thing in sports nowadays.
And I think, Don, you are right. That's a topic I want to talk to. I don't got enough time to do it today, but that's definitely a topic. I think it's so disrespectful at a certain level. But like I said, it's a business at the end of the day, man. But that's another topic. I just think that they need to, at the very least, if I come there with my grandson, my son, my nephews, or whatever, my nieces that love y'all, and y'all not playing, y'all gotta have a 30-minute and for the show your ticket, because if you're in the game, you should be obligated to sign autographs or take pictures until to all the people get fulfilled because you didn't play. That's not fair. But good stuff, guys. Excuse me, great show. It's Against the Grain Sports Podcast Uncut, man. I appreciate everybody that's out here, man, been support, man. We've been really, really getting a lot of traction. I believe our last 6 shows have been over 190,000 viewers, the last 6 or 7 shows. So I just thank y'all, man, for wherever y'all coming from, wherever y'all are watching the show from, man. We thank y'all, man, because that's going to just get us to the next level and to the next level. And we want to take everybody with us when we go, man. So can't do it without y'all. Keep doing y'all thing. Keep watching us, keep sharing the show. We love it, man. I love y'all. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. But Michael, the People's Champ, man, give me your final thought before we get out of here.
Well, in the spirit of the tournament and how everything's coming together, it's a great time of the year. We all love it, and you watch different things. And I think a person that needs credit that hasn't received the credit that they should have, and I think Ray mentioned this in a comment that he made about the turnaround that's happened at the University of Miami by Jai Lucas. He should have been ACC Coach of the Year. He did not win that award. This guy is doing a phenomenal job. This is one of those things when you're in a coaching search and you get it right. You get the young guy who's got experience. He's played. He's relatable to players. The players like him, love him. You got all of that going for him. And I think that this is an example of when a school makes a commitment to success and they get it right. Finding coaches is like finding quarterbacks. There's a lot of them out there, but getting the right one is still a challenge. Everybody that's a good quarterback and a great quarterback. Everybody that's a good coach and a great coach. But I think we may be looking at a young, great coach. I don't know if he'll be at Miami his whole career, but I am very impressed with Jai Lucas.
Good stuff. All right, appreciate it. It's really good stuff. Donald, give me a final thought as we get out of here.
My final thought is tournament going on. As you got the first round is probably just something to watch, a little fun. But now as you get to even the second round and going forward to the Sweet 16, you get to see a lot of stars show what they're about and see what they're gonna do. So I'm just looking forward to all the stars playing. Everybody who's supposed to be a star from the Kingston Flemings to the Darren Petersons to the to all the guys I'm looking forward to see what they do and make their run in the tournament. So that's what I'm looking forward to. That's my final thought.
Okay. Soul on Sports, man. Give me your final thoughts as we get out of here.
Final thought, the opening day for baseball is Wednesday. And, everyone's been talking baseball because of the World Baseball Classic. But they got some new rules they're going to jump off this year. And baseball is not, they don't like change, but there are going to be computers deciding whether or not there's balls or strikes. And I think it's a great idea. I mean, I don't know if you've ever tried to call a ball a strike from behind the plate. Very difficult to do. So I think this is something that's going to help the game and get these balls and strike right. If they got it right in their World Baseball Classic, U.S. Anyway, but I think it's a good change for them to start doing this. Technology, we got it, so let's use it.
So the
I love
umpire
it.
won't call them at all, or they just correct them with the
They're going to correct them.
Okay.
And they also got the pitch. They got the pitch count. That's very good to speed the game up. They got the pitch count. I love it. And I think they got challenges now in baseball. We saw it in the World Baseball Series when I thought dude was out at second base. And that ended up being the official last run to win to beat the Americans. But I thought he was out. So I know you say different. I thought he was out. Even on the replay, it looked like he was out to me still. But I guess the runner gets a simultaneous. If it's simultaneous, it goes to the runner. But good stuff, so. My final thought today, man, is we just beat on the NBA. I'm a guy that might beat on the NBA, but I also give praise when it's necessary. And what I will say is the Eastern Conference in the NBA has 10 teams that are over 500, and they're all at least 3 games good. And the 10th seed is 37-34, and that's the Charlotte Hornets. So even in our playing games, we're gonna have teams that's going to be over 500. I think this will be the first time since they implemented the play-in tournament that every team in the Eastern Conference can potentially be over 500, even the play-in games. So now that we're starting to get more competition in the Eastern Conference, because some of those guys that was in the Western Conference, James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, now they're in the Eastern Conference. They're starting to get that talent in the Eastern Conference, which I guess, I don't know if it's a weather thing or not, but we got to give a shout out to that. I don't know if anybody made mention of that, but I'm so used to the Eastern Conference being the Eastern Conference and having 4 or 5 teams have losing records in the conference, but that's not the case. Now the case is 10 teams, all 10 teams that can make the playoffs or the play-in could be over 500, and that's very, very impressive to me with the amount of stuff that we put on the NBA and we try to bash the NBA. This is something that we actually got to glorify the NBA, because in the Western Conference, they actually got 7 teams that's over 500, but they will have 3 teams. If they started today, they will have 3 teams under 500 in the playoffs. So keep doing your thing, NBA. At least give us a better product. It looked like people were making strides to play more games, because Wemby said he wants to play more games because he wants to be the Defensive Player of the Year. He wants to be the MVP. He wants to be on all NBA teams. At least if he's a person that can start this, guys, where a guy at Wemby being so competitive, he showed it in the All-Star game. If he can be competitive like this, maybe that can translate over to other players having the desire to be competitive, and we can get back to having basketball games game in and game out. So big shout out to the NBA and the Eastern Conference for having 10 teams over 500, potentially going into the playoffs. So that's my final thought. This is the show, Against the Grain Sports Podcast. Uncut. I'm your host, Jody Coleman. In the building, we got my man Michael, the People's Champ Perry, in the building. We got Jarrell, Solo on Sports, Glenn, all the way from San Antonio, Texas. We got Donald, the voice of the U, Coleman, in the building. We got Ray, more than just a barber, Lindsay in his absence, Andrew mic'd up in his absence, Jason, the hefty lefty, in his absence, and we couldn't do none of this without JK and the chef cooking it up in the kitchen, man. Hey, Mike, what we doing till tomorrow, man?
Hey, we working.
See y'all tomorrow.
Peace.
Peace.